Good evening, guys, and welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Recently, my cheeky arse decided to go on eBay and pick up a piece of toy history, and a particularly fan-filled piece of toy history. This is from the Kenner's Alien and Predator line. This is the Predator Bladefighter. Now, a bit of history, guys. In the early 90s, Kenner done a line of figures based on the Aliens property. It wasn't tied into the movies because, one, the last movie to come out at that time was Alien 3, and it was R-rated, so no kid could watch it. And two, most of the characters from Aliens were killed off. So Kenner decided to come up with a property called Operation Aliens. And I don't think they were going to do an animated series. Initially, I had thought they did. I thought there was an actual pilot out there because there was screenshots floating around the internet. But that actually transpired to be an animated advert for the toys that never really saw the light of day. So, myself included, a lot of people made the mistake that there was going to be an animated series. But yeah, it was essentially the Marines, which included Ripley, although Ripley isn't a Marine. Ripley, Hicks, a very Terminator-esque Bishop, Apone, Hudson, Drake, and a character called Atax that was made for the series, going from planet to planet, stopping different xenomorphs that had essentially infected the local wildlife. While there was no animated series, there was an accompanying Dark Horse comic with every figure. So yeah, the Marines obviously got their own vehicles. These included the evac fighter, the hover tread, which was a very weird looking vehicle, the Stinner attack tank, and the power loader, which was pretty awesome looking. And as the waves went on, they introduced some other characters. I don't think Vasquez and Hudson were in the first line, but they were most certainly in the second line, along with a character called O'Malley, the most Irish looking fucking action figure you could ask. And then by the third wave, they started introducing Predators, which were pretty cool. These were very bombastic looking Predators, and it made sense that because Fox owned both properties and the comic was very, very popular at the time. Dark Horse had successfully ran, I think, 3 or 4 runs of the comic, and they were very popular. So the most likely thing to do was to pit these guys against each other. And the Predators in that line were so crazy looking. You got Lava Planet Predator, you got Clan Leader whipping dreadlocks, you got Savage Exterminator Predator. They were all fucking these big Herculean looking Predators with crazy colour schemes and crazy weapons because it was Kenner. And they themselves got one dedicated vehicle, and that one dedicated vehicle was this guy here. This is the Predator Bladefighter, which is essentially a hover bike used to capture and kill xenomorphs. Now, I'll just give you a quick look at the artwork here. Again, you can't beat Kenner's artwork. It was seriously, seriously badass. I think that is maybe Nightstorm. I could be wrong. It could be Nightstorm or Scavenge Exterminator. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, and all the Predator figures came with this silhouette on the box. Just turn it to the side there on the back, and it just shows you a bit more of the Bladefighter itself. And again, it's a cool looking vehicle. Practicality wise, I don't know if the Yautja would have used one of these. Then again though, they have like advanced spaceships and stuff, so you would think they would have some form of ground vehicle. But sadly guys, this is actually the French edition of the vehicle I got, so there's no blurb. But if there is a blurb out there, I'll put it on the side of the screen so you can read it. But again, I love Kenner doing this kind of schematic design in the background and stuff to give it a real kind of futuristic technological feel. But yeah guys, that's the box. So what about the vehicle itself? Well, here it is, assembled and stickers put on. And as I said before guys, it's essentially a hover bike, a Predator hover bike, with a couple of hidden secrets and weapons. The first one being is this kind of shoulder cannon, which is really clever in the placement, because as I show you when I'll put one of the figures on, it doesn't impede you putting a Predator with his own adjustable shoulder cannon onto the Bladefighter, which was pretty cool. So that can go up and down, and like any good figure in the 90s or vehicle, it has a launching missile. You have to have a launching missile if you're doing a vehicle in the 90s, especially for Kenner. Quick, just to show you the spear here. It's actually pretty cool, because if you didn't want to use it as a missile, you could put it into the Predator's hand and use it as kind of an axe. It's not super sharp. Obviously, they didn't want some kid to lose their eye, but it still gets the job done, and it's still pretty cool. And it fits in there like that. Just show you, I have the stickers on, and there's the kind of control system and the decoration there. I doubt very much that the dudes at Kenner went to the likes of Steve Perry, who had done the first Alien vs Predator novel and done the Yautja language for advice. I think this is just random shite, but it looks Predator, it looks Yautja. So they done a good job with that, and the colour scheme is pretty cool, that kind of copper. And it's got two laser guns here on the side, and the handlebars, again, you can't really hold the handlebars. That can be adjusted there. And then you have this. It's the kind of capture claw, and it's on kind of a gear system there. So if you move one of the kind of pincers, the other one moves. And the other cool thing I like is there's different kind of notches in the pincers. So if you had like a bigger figure like the Alien Queen, she could fit into that. If you had a smaller figure, you could capture maybe the Scorpion Alien or even some of the face huggers. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty solid. Now it goes a bit wonky, but it's a figure from the 90s. You're not going to have it perfect, but it looks the business, and it looks cool. And also, so if the Predators swoop down and scoop up their prey, and they're like, fuck this shit, he's not worth my time, they can do this. They can launch it into space or into a volcano or into the fucking ocean. So it's pretty cool. And it's pretty solid as well. So how does it work with a Kenner Predator figure? Well, let's find out. Let's put my Lava Planet Predator onto it. And as I said before, the cool thing is that even if he has his shoulder cannon kind of deployed, he can still go on. And he can still use it, because the missile launcher is only on this side. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I like that. And I think maybe 90% of the Predators could have used this. The only ones that their kind of sculpt would have caused issue would have been, I'd say, Clan Leader, because his legs were really tight and close together, and the Laser Shot, who had a dual kind of missile launching system on his back, and that wouldn't have, you would have had to have this kind of pushed out of the way. So I think most of the Predators, bar Clan Leader and Laser Shot, would have been able to use this guy. But let's see how he works at capturing my Queen Alien. See, can I pick it up? Hey, you can. That's pretty cool. So he's like, oh, bring me back and make your legs for us to hunt. It's pretty cool. Just do a kind of scaling as well. So I'll take this guy out and we'll see how he looks next to it. So the Queen Alien is there. And that's kind of a good kind of way to gauge the sizes, and put him next to it there. Hopefully he'll stand. So yeah, that is pretty cool. It isn't too big, it isn't too small. Speaking of small though, let's see how it scales up to my Terminator-esque Bishop from the line. I'd say, yeah, he wouldn't be able to, because his legs are, when you put him into the sitting position, they go too close together. But yeah, it's a cool looking vehicle, even for the time. It might look goofy in some regards, but it looks badass for the line. And it's cool that Kenner gave the Predators their own vehicle, because the Marines had a bunch of different vehicles. They obviously couldn't give the Aliens vehicles, but they did get a really awesome looking kind of Hive playset with a very cool looking Queen. Yeah, it was a lot more screen accurate than this lady here. I do know NECA went off and done a version of this, and it looks fucking badass. It actually reminds me, the NECA one reminds me of the landing craft that the Predators use in the 2010 Alien vs Predator video game. Just the shape and the kind of shell of it, it's pretty cool. But yeah, guys, I'm really happy I got this. It's a nice addition to my Alien and Predator Kenner collection. And yeah, I think if you are a fan of that line, this is something to get. It's an oddity, but it isn't as bizarre as, say, the Hover Tread. The Hover Tread looks cool, but in theory and in practice, it's really fucking impractical. Whereas this is a piece of alien tech by a bunch of alien hunters. Sure, there's a big goofy claw on the front, but it's fucking Predators. They don't do anything. They don't do anything small. So yeah, guys, let me know if you had this guy growing up. What do you think? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's silly? Would you have liked to have seen other Predator vehicles in the Kenner line? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.
Aliens versus Predator. Who will survive? It's Aliens versus Predator. Who is faster? Who is better? Aliens versus Predator. Which one will take your life? What's that thing? It's invisible. Shooting missiles at me, trying to take my skull. No way, you can't have my bones. With the triangle scope, bitch, leave me alone. I'll use this gun right quick, it'll come in handy.